Hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to the web, where today, pop that movie, we have a battle between myself as the Lizardmen and the Darkelves. And the only reason you guys are seeing this one is because I was actually really surprised it wasn't Malekith. I was expecting Big Boy on the Dragon again to come and pop a bunch of Soul Stealers on the middle objective and absolutely crush me. But it seems we do have a Rakarth True Believer. So on his side, we do have a little bit of skirmish with the Dark Rider's repeater crossbow. Obviously, Rakarth on his chariot, coming in with some armor-piercing anti-large, 2 dread spears, a lot of anti-large here again, and more anti-large cavalry, as well as a Sorcerer of Death in the back, and probably the main exhibit, 2 Hydras. Actually, a very cool looking model. And then on my side, we have 2 Saurus with shields, the club variant, just here. Some Razordons, because I'm expecting some Blackguard of Nagaroth. Didn't end up turning up though. We have 2 Scar Veterans, one on a Carnosaur and one on the, well, just on foot. And also some anti-large cover with the Cold One Spear Riders. And as our Lord, we do have the Slan of Life. Probably would have been a Slan of Light, would probably been a better pick. But anyway, we have 3 spells on them. Earthblood, Regrowth, and Dwellers Below. As well as Life Bloom, just a little bit of gold extra, and Greater Arcane Conduit. Also, probably the kind of main unit I'm going to be moving around at this point is the Clostodon Hunters, who are the regiment around Ripidactyl Rider with some great anti-large. So, there's a bit of shuffling in the beginning, so I'm just going to speed it up a bit. And I try and get a pick off with the Razordons up on Rakarth, but he actually has some quite good micro. So the issue you often have with these guys is they do have to get quite close to shoot. They're a bit of a weird model count, the way they're spread out. So now it's a nice pullback there. I'm going to take a lot of fire from the repeater crossbows, who do get some great value in this game actually. And he's moving cavalry around the side. I really want to pick off this Sorcerer of Death. They're coming in with Purple Son of Xerxes, I don't know how to pronounce that, and Spirit Leech, which is the main one I'm scared of, because I do have a couple very vital single entities. Lucky for me, I did bring in, and I brought in some Feral Cold Ones, and the Skink Cohort's coming down. But lucky for me, I do have quite a bit of anti-large, so this isn't the worst. I didn't really get caught too off guard, but unfortunately there are some anti-infantry units coming, which is going to be a real pain. So, we're going in. Shoots its fire breath, I suppose. I'm not sure. Oh god, sure, killed those models. Getting a bit of a back charge from the Dread Spears. Other ones coming in, but we managed to stop them with the Feral Cold Ones. 450 gold, good stuff. Saurus Warriors are going to come in and try and beat these Dread Spears. These guys really should be moving in. I think, yep, we're heading with the Dwellers Below there, just trying to get some of that cavalry. We do have the Clostodon Hunters going in. Scar Veterans getting absolutely clapped. Not too surprising, but we really need to get rid of these War Hydras. Purple Sun that we dodged alright with the Saurus Warriors, but yeah, those definitely wasn't worth that magic, especially since it crumps like their own infantry. Oh, that Dread Spear unit. Absolutely getting clapped. So here we got the Clostodon Hunters really going for the Sorcerers of Death, but getting caught up in some other units. Yeah, we can get rid of that early, nice and early. Can make them waste their, well, I guess, points to try and bring out another mage. Repeater crossbows are getting great firing into 2 very expensive units. It's here I'm kind of realizing things aren't going so hot. Pop a regrowth on the Scar Veteran. We have Razordon shooting in, not getting great angles though, and who is that? It is the only fire damage we have on this build, which is an Ancient Salamander, and I do have a second one of those actually. Not sure they're coming up yet. So he's got his 2 spears there, bringing up a lot more infantry onto the main point. And we do have the capture weight at the moment, which is good, because we did, well, that Dread Spear got massacred, but we are losing the single entity fight. This guy's kind of sitting back a bit. But we did get a great pick on that Sorcerer, and these Pterodons are just sitting there firing javelins in. We got some sort of healing on them, I think, or something. Oh no, it was them shooting the Acid Breath. Not ideal. Really can't leave these guys alone. So we're getting shots in there quite nicely. They're getting a shot with the repeater crossbows now. We're repositioning the Razordons, and we're bringing out another anti-large cavalry unit. Always good, but what really worries me and kind of the big weakness of the Lizardman roster is they don't have any counter to anti-infantry that isn't large. So if they bring a nice mix of halberds and anti-infantry, you really can't send your infantry to deal with effectively. Especially that, look at that, that's 80 armor. They have no armor piercing, and they're frenzied, so that's really not a good pick. We're getting some nice terror routes off with the Scar veteran. We want to take it nice and easy with him, because we need him in the late game. Getting good pot shots in. Side, 1,050 gold, once it gets far. 225. Okay. Yeah, it's going quite nicely. There's only a single cohort down here, so there is a chance that they're going to try and come around and take it. We're getting some nice terror routes off. This guy's back in the game. Oof, it's brutally shot our own guys. But what's really good is even these guys are very high health. We're getting them escorted off by the anti-large cav. This does come to be a bit of a blessing and a curse. I only have 2 units of the anti-large cav. So I probably should swap shooting onto these guys, because these guys have some great armor piercing. But yeah, it is a bit of a issue, to be honest, because they take so long to escort this guy off that I really do lose, and the other cavalry is still running here. I think we've got a good drop rocks, and they're just shooting stuff in. Ooh, I think we could get a good pick on Rakarth. He's used most of his ammunition. We hit a second regrowth on top of the Saurus veteran on the Carnosaur. That's good. These guys just going in. Repeater crossbows, absolutely. Oof, incredible damage. Fortunately, we do have this guy in melee, but these are anti-infantry, so not a huge deal. And here comes the second one. Although it looks easier to get covered in spears. Maybe Slan will come help him out here. There we go. Slan, yeah, he'll do fine against spears, I'm sure. So, it's kind of unfortunate, because that's a fantastic, yeah, shooting shots in there. Look at that damage. Absolutely beautiful. These guys, again, anti-infantry, not a huge deal, but we do want to come in and finish this guy off. Getting good fire shots in there. He does have weakness to fire due to his regeneration, and then this one gives flammable as well. So I think it's like 40% extra damage he's doing. Or it could be a little bit less than that, because it could be a multiplicative, but anyway, we are lacking good infantry at the moment. I probably should have brought some more Saurus. We have some spears coming up, but that's not what we really need, although they do have a bit higher melee defense. This guy is still getting escorted off. I tell you, it felt like an absolute lifetime, because I really needed that cavalry back when they bring out some a little bit later. Again, a lot of good routes here, although we really should have gotten... I really wanted to overextend to get the penalty, to give them the leadership penalty. But I was scared they were going to bring out like the Manticore with some other like anti-large cavalry, and just wasn't worth it. Do wish really got the Hydra, because that's going to heal up now though. This guy's just standing there, I guess. He has kind of left the slant a little bit, but I don't think we're in much... if it was Malekith, I'll be a lot more worried about being sniped. But yeah, it's not too bad, honestly. He's kind of sitting there. I don't think he's taking any damage, to be honest. He's a bit of loose micro on their side. Should really be cleaning these units up. Unless he's keeping them there purposefully. I'll probably bring up these Dread Spears, since I'm not really in any kind of position to hold an objective so close. And this is what I was worrying about if I overextended to take out Rakarth. We've got 2 units of anti-large cav, Cold War Knights. Good armor piercing, hard to shoot. They got the bronze shield and all that. Looks like they're still taking that off. I'm bringing out 2 Feral Cold Ones to try and meet these. They're not going to trade effectively, but if I can get some good flanking shots into these guys with the armor piercing, that's always going to be useful. We've got some of those cohorts, and that's always good. These guys, do they pay for themselves? Nah, about 110. They're really just here for the capture weight, to be honest. Coming in for another terror route here. Moving up with the Ancient Salamander. We want to get good pot shots into there. These guys are obviously anti-large, so that's always good. So we can pull the slam through if he gets into anything a bit spicy. But they're quite tanky. They've got about 8,000 health max, I think. Oh yeah, 7.5. So that's nothing to sneeze at. It's a bit difficult to snipe, actually, if you ever verse against Slan. Probably a bit of a misplay here, sending the giant dinosaur into anti-large. 2 sets of anti-large cavalry, and we also, yeah, Ancient Salamander's not having a good time. But we do get a bit of a regrowth there. This guy's doing alright. We're going to pull him back. This is really missed micro. Really should be pulling these skinks around here. Maybe that way. We pull them that way. Oh. Either way, they should be shooting into the Manticore. And then we can get to Rampage, hopefully scare it off. We have Pterodons have already done their stuff. Yep, 600 value already paid for themselves. That's always good. We have the anti-large cav are finally coming back. And that's good because we do a bit of a sweeping here because we do have some anti-large Scourge Runner chariots. And we're actually, yeah, losing the objective. That's not good. It is quite even here, but we really should be getting these guys onto the objective and then we'd have it. There we go, Feral Cold Ones finally get here. They're coming in here. We can bring these guys in to try and throw shots in. The good thing about salamanders, ancient salamanders over salamander hunting packs, is that basically, even if they're damaged, they don't lose a lot of their, attack. Unless wounds kicks in, I think, yeah. Only weapon damage, actually, no. Yeah, single entity artillery just goes harder, goes. So, yeah. They're not great against, few, chariots and stuff, but we are getting some peppering them in there. Like I said, yeah, this guy's kind of paying the troll toll. Unfortunately, I think I'm all out of magic. So got no wins left, so he's not going to be getting any heals. I think he just kind of sits around here if they capture weight for the rest of the game. Ferromanticore on the run out. We're getting some new anti-large cavern. So yeah. Okay, here's where things get a bit spicy. I did bring in the cavalry to charge, but now we're kind of trying to get these chariots out the way. I am having a lot of issues with my infantry. I think these guys, the spears do have better stats, melee defense, lower melee attack though. I'll have to double check that one. But really the real damage we have here is coming from the ancient salamanders at the moment. But they are going to run out of ammunition, and that's kind of where we do get into a bit of trouble in the late game. So we're bringing out some more cohorts just to ensure we keep the capture weight, and also, so we can check now, yeah, 35-30 to 25-39. So yeah, these guys do have high melee defense. Which is, yeah, Lizardmen, you don't really ever have particularly strong damage with your front line. It's really from your monsters that you get a lot of your damage. But yeah, here we do come in. The bit of the issue is that Lizardmen don't have a very strong front line. Like, your only tier 3 infantry, I believe, is... Yeah, it's Temple Guard, isn't it? Probably should know that a bit off by heart, but look at that fantastic shot in there from the Ancient Salamander. Lovely, and then eventually we are going to try and do like a counter charge. That's why I like the Saurus Veteran. You can just pop him in there. He scrunches them all up, so you get lovely shots in. Because when they're quite spread out or in a front line, you sometimes hit your own guys. So these, yeah, it's good, and they'll charge that, route them off. Let's see what it needs to be cleaned up. Probably could bring this guy back home. He's really not doing anything. He's only got 1300 health. Still only have a single skink cohort. That seems to be working fine, but if he did bring some cavalry around, I would have a hard time trying to stop it. We do have the Clostodon Hunters are back. They didn't get particularly fantastic value, didn't pay for themselves, but still 1,000 isn't nothing to sneeze at. And we probably should be holding out Ancient Salamander shots. Probably hold it for the Corsairs, because they have 80 armor, and these guys are our main armor piercing. So I probably want to wait, turn off fire at will. Cold One Spear Riders, they're doing fine. There isn't really any good picks out. Now there's a lot of infantry and anti-large. These guys are getting the last of their ammo off. So yeah, now we're getting some shots into these guys. They're not very bunched up though, so we'll see how we go. That's pretty good damage. All things considered, these guys are getting great counter shooting in. Oof, they do a lot of damage. Jesus Christ, yeah, what, almost 1,800. I wonder how much they cost. I don't know much about the Dark Elf units. And here we go, the man, the myth, the legend is back, the War Hydra. Back for round 2. We did pretty well with them, actually. Quite cost efficient the way we dealt with them earlier. Don't want to run this guy into Dread Spears. Do get them to break formation, which is, yeah, blessing and a curse because I'm missing stuff. Not sure what these guys are doing here. I think they already used their drop rocks. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to answer to this, tier 2 Dagger infantry that's infantry with 300 gold infantry. So that's going to get routed very quickly. Oh, okay, Saurus is coming in. Doesn't really matter if we lose him. Feral Cold One should be moving around to get a bit of a flank off. This is going to be the real issue. We don't have... Our anti-large is almost dead. These guys are going in to try and help with the spears. Clostodon Hunters might be able to take him, but they need something to really take the brunt of it. So maybe surround by the Saurus Veterans and then bring the Clostodon Hunters in for their anti-large. And you can pop their unique ability. Gives them absolutely fat damage, but... What else do we have? Bringing in the Razedons back again. They were kind of a bad pick, I'll be honest with you. Hydra shoots in. They use the last of their ammunition. Meeting lines with the Dread Spears. He's got no ammunition left. Probably not worth bringing him back. Refunding him. Probably not going to get much from him. These guys are here for the capture weight. We're bringing these across. Yeah. Black Ark Corsairs. Real pain to deal with. This guy's getting the flank on. But over here, things are not going quite as well. Witch Elves, absolute pain to deal with. Especially these guys are going to get absolutely massacred by nearly 50 melee attack. So I'm kind of wondering, I thought I had dropped rocks on these guys. I think I might have already used it. So I'm kind of running like, shit, what am I going to do? I think I kind of go for the flank with these guys. But if you do use pterodons, you use their drop rocks and artillery lane. Remember, they do come in with fear. And yeah, 15% missile resist, but also fear. So I think they're the cheapest source of fear in the entire roster, because I think the Bastillodon causes terror, but it's 650. So yeah, they're actually pretty good against if things are about to break. Drop them in there. They're very squishy, but yeah, see, they've routed. And yeah, end of the game. Cool, so let's have a little bit of look at the value. We have Slann, got about 1,000. Obviously, not his whole goal, he was doing quite a bit of healing. Pterodon Riders got summoned twice, so take that with, I think we had a look at them, they got about 1,000 value, so for being summoned twice, didn't really pay for themselves completely, but they did pretty well. 3,300 value on the, I'd assume that's going to be the guy on the the Carnosaur. Sounds actually a pretty good pick. I was a bit worried about that early fight we took at the beginning. Probably worth noting that even though he got quite good value, he did take a lot of the value from the Slann. A lot of the healing went towards him. This guy did alright. Didn't pay for himself. I think about 120 short. Cost about 700 gold because he had nothing on him. Both Saurus did quite well. I probably needed more. Anti-large cavalry, Cold Riders with the spears, they did very well. That was mainly just because they did bring a lot of large units. These two. And Raised-Ons did absolutely terrible. The only thing really worth mentioning, these two, 1.3 and 1.5 essentially, very, very well. This guy's 1.7, also fantastic, and these guys 1,000. So we got some really good value picks. Yeah, I guess that's kind of the way you want to play Lizardmen these days. You really need to use the mobility and kind of go for value initially, and then kind of push on to the objective with a lot of your strong mid-tier infantry. Rakarth did alright, I don't know how much he costs. 700 for the Death Sorceress, but she did get my Colossal Hunters killed. And these guys did 2,000. I think that guy paid for himself. This one definitely didn't. They probably paid for themselves. They did fantastically, almost 2,000 value. See, these are what guys I was expecting. Those were who the Raised-Ons were for. But Witch Elves and stuff, they're a real pain. And yeah, a lot of units didn't pay for themselves, but some did go over their price value. So, thanks so much for watching. If you do enjoy this content, obviously, please do leave a like and subscribe if you're interested in seeing more. I'm actually a modder by trade, so you can see some of that stuff on the screen at the moment, so that looks interesting. I'll have some videos in the top right at the moment. Well, tips out.